Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to W.M.S.T podcast episode number 78. I am your host Syed. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the audio link. Here are your guests for tonight. We got editor-in-chief finally back after a week. Ziegler, what up, Ziegler?
Yo, what up?
What up?
Sunday is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an
Saturday
interesting
and
show.
Sunday.
Yeah.
True. And of course, as always, we got the Orange Cassidy of the group. We got Cam. What up, Cam?
Hi.
Hi. All right, y'all. Welcome to part 3 of W.M.S.T podcast. We got some NFL news to discuss. So, first things first, before we get to the more serious news, let's talk about franchise tag contracts that were signed pretty recently. So, Myles Garrett signed a huge 5-year deal to stay with the Cleveland Browns, and Derrick Henry signed a $50 million 4-year with a $25 million guaranteed deal with the Tennessee Titans to stay. I think the Myles Garrett deal makes sense because, I mean, trust me, like Browns, they would not let a young pass rusher like that go into free agency. So, it wasn't that surprising. I'm glad they got a deal done. Um, but yeah, he's definitely going to help them win games, and win games they need to do that. Like, this city is so desperate for any kind of winning. Cam will tell you about that. And Derrick Henry's contract, it makes sense for both sides. He gets his guaranteed money. The franchise gets the long-term deal. I think Titans are gonna be contenders next year and beyond. I think. I really like that team. I know some people are saying, "Oh, they're gonna probably go 9-7 again," but I think with a full season of Tannehill and Derrick Henry, I think they can go at least 10-6 or 11-5. I think they definitely have a potential to be a contender in the AFC. Yeah, and I wanted to get Cam's thoughts on the Garrett signing. So Cam, what are your thoughts?
5-year, 125 million contract extension. He's a franchise player. Might as well keep him. Try and keep him as long as you can. And he's one of your top players outside of that one spat from last year with the helmet spot. He is one of our top one of your top players. So you gotta keep him happy and keep him paid.
Yeah, I mean, you need pass rushers like that with mobile QBs like Lamar and Russell Wilson. You need uh, um, rushers like that. Uh, and before I get to Izzy, I gotta quickly mention that Dak Prescott did not sign a long-term deal with Dallas Cowboys. So for this year, Dak Prescott is gonna play on the 1-year franchise tag, and there's a big chance that Dak Prescott ends up leaving next year when another team can hand him a bigger contract than the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Dak Prescott could have had a contract for, I think it was like 5 years, 175 million last year, which would be about 35 million per year. But he turned that contract down, and he was like, "Look, I'm gonna have my best season this year. Jerry Jones, you're gonna give me a bigger bag next year." I think he kind of regrets that now, because yeah, he had a good season. He had his best season, but they went 8-8 and they did not make the playoffs. So I think that's why Jerry Jones is now, he's a little hesitant to give him that huge money. And Patrick Mahomes signed that huge 10-year deal. And look, I don't know what the rumors are, but if Dak wants a contract like that, he is crazy. He's never gonna get a contract like that. Even 175 million for 5 years is a bit too much. Like, I wouldn't give uh, an average QB a contract like that, and I think that's what Dak Prescott is. He's a pretty average quarterback who has one of the league's best all lines, and best receiving course there is, and a really good running game. So he's lucky in that sense. So um, I think anything over 125 million over 5 years is like too much. He should have definitely taken that deal when he was offered it last year. Uh, Izzy, what are your thoughts on these recent signings and Dak Prescott?
Dak sucks. Derrick Henry, I like. I think he deserved it. Myles Garrett was a little overpaid in my opinion, but I guess he is the future of their team. But I think they definitely overpaid for him. That's about all I got. Dak sucks. Doesn't deserve as much as he asked for. He's done nothing since he got there. He's done nothing but squash opportunity. He has arguably the best team around him out of the whole NFL, and he just squanders it. So, yeah, he sucks, and he's going to regret not taking that contract last year.
Yeah, that's true. And sorry, Cam, I forgot to ask you, what are your thoughts on the Dak Prescott situation?
He asked for a year, or did he ask for a year, or was it a disagreement?
So last year when he was offered that contract, he declined it so he can have a good season, then ask for a bigger contract. They didn't make the playoffs, so that's why they're more hesitant to pay him the same amount of money.
Oh, then this is probably going to be setting up a trade. If he doesn't have a good season this season, or depending on if the virus dies down, this is all probably going to set up a trade.
Yeah, they can probably get some good value for him if they traded him in the middle of the season. Hey, Andy Dalton can be just as good for $3 million. Like, that's a deal right there. But yeah, anyways, some contract news there. But let's talk about some serious news now. So obviously, we've been hearing about Washington Redskins name change because a lot of people feel like the Redskins name is inappropriate and all that, and they want to change. So Ron Rivera, the coach, and Dan Snyder, the owner, they said, you know what, fine, we will look at the best options and we'll change the name, we'll change the logo. It's going to be a whole new thing. And now, since there's so much activity around the Washington Redskins, a lot of news is some rumors are coming out about the Redskins organizations, and it's not good stuff. Uh, First of all, there's a lot going on here, so I'm gonna try to break it down as much as possible since there was rumors going around that there was a Washington Post article that was going to come out exposing a lot of the things that were happening in the Redskins organizations. So first thing was the article comes out first of all, and it doesn't cover every single rumor, but the main rumor that the articles talk about and confirmed was 15 women coming forward and talking about the toxic uh, culture in that organization where they harass those women and talk down to them and just very creepy things going on in that organizations. uh, and there were minority stake owners who were doing a lot of those things, and they want to get out of there. Like they don't want anything, they don't want to even be part of it. So that just shows you that they are more than likely guilty of the things they talked about. Uh, and it just talks about the toxic culture that is uh, in that environment, in that organization. But the other news that is like grabbing a lot of headlines, and the Washington Post didn't really cover it, is the fact that Dan Snyder paid off referees anywhere close to $2 million to help them win games. Now that's pretty embarrassing because they only ended up winning like 2 or 4 games this year. That's I mean, if that's true, then a lot of fans are gonna be unhappy because that can expose something bigger. Like maybe paying off the refs is a problem, and we don't know about that is coming to the forefront right now. I mean, the other news was okay. So here's where the news kind of gets weird. So there is also huge rumors about the owners and Jay Gruden, who was the former coach of the Redskins, pimping out their cheerleaders to season ticket holders. I know that sounds weird, but that's what would happen, and they would fly them out to exotic locations, do topless photo shoots, and it's just some weird stuff that would be going on with their cheerleaders, and they would be pimping them out to season ticket holders. Um, I don't know why, but it's just creepy stuff. And what's what's even worse is this rumor about Jay Gruden uh, sleeping with one of the cheerleaders, and he later found out that one of the running backs of the team, whose name is Capri Bibbs, last year, uh, so he was also sleeping with the same woman. Jay Gruden finds out about this, ends up benching Capri Bibbs, and because of that benching, a backup running back had to come into the game, who's a bit inexperienced. That running back misses a huge block that causes Alex Smith to break his leg and be out for the rest of the season. That might even cost him his entire career. I mean, I hope Alex Smith comes back, but if this rumor is true that Jay Gruden, benched his running back because he was sleeping with the same woman, like some lawsuits are definitely going to come out uh if Alex Smith doesn't end up coming back to play football. Like this is going to be a huge deal if this is true. Uh yeah, like there's a lot of things to break down with this news. I mean, I might be missing some other stuff, but uh everything that I hear about this organization and everything that's happened, like it makes me so angry. I just hope that some justice comes out of this. Like, I mean, Dan Snyder, I think he should be forced to sell the team at the very least. Like, he needs to sell the team uh, and just move on. Like, it's so embarrassing to have this stuff happening. And if you're telling me that as a owner he didn't know this stuff was happening, then that's the biggest lie ever. Like, I I cannot believe that he didn't know this stuff was happening in the organization that he owns. Like, if you're the boss, you should know what's going on. Like, that's on you. That's not an excuse. Like, you didn't know or anything like that. I mean, it's just shocking news, and it's like a developing story. So, I guess they're gonna have to change more than just the name and the logo. They're gonna have to change owners. It's gonna be pretty big. This is probably one of the biggest stories about a sports team to come out. A controversial story like this since since Clippers former owner
Donald
Donald
Sterling.
Sterling. Yeah, exactly. And him and NBA did a great job with that. He came out as a racist. Everybody knew that for years. Forced him to sell the team, and they're better off since that. So something similar needs to happen, in my opinion. Cam, what are your thoughts on this just bombshell news?
It's all they wanted to do was just change the name, and then it turned into this whole thing that just sounds like a millionaire fantasy that you would see in a movie. A whole self-destruction thing that doesn't end in a drug overdose for some reason. Like all of this happens, he then gets caught. He tries to cover all up, and then it ends up getting worse and worse and worse. He sells the team, and then ends up dying in a huge drug overdose. Like that would be a movie. Tell me that wouldn't be a movie.
Sure sounds like a plot.
I'll start writing.
Dude, Izzy, this is your opportunity. You need to write about how much of a bad owner Dan Snyder's organization was, and you can make
Like, make
a lot
this
of money
into a
off this
movie.
movie. Yeah, that would be a crazy movie.
Take this idea, run with it. Have it end in an overdose. Like Scarface type bullshit.
Well, Scarface
Getting
he gets
giddy
shot.
over an overdose.
He has an overdose. Just saying.
Like, I know he gets shot, but it's like a huge overdose, and plus mix it with Herb Abrams from Dark Side of the Ring.
He's ketchup from Psycho.
Well, Scarface
Or
didn't get
chocolate
shot.
syrup.
He was gonna OD anyway, dude. He fucking put his face into a pile of cocaine.
He did do like 4 lines in like 3 minutes.
It wasn't even lies. He just stuffed his face into a pile of it.
Well, he knew he was gonna die anyway, so he.
Yeah,
he was
I
just
know.
Like, so he's just like, "Fuck it, it's all my coke anyway."
Yeah.
Like, look at it.
And then his sister tries to fuck him.
He didn't. She didn't try to fuck him.
Yeah, she did. She literally tells him "fuck me" like 4 times.
Well, she was angry that he killed her husband.
Yeah. Wait, I think they're engaged. I don't think they're married yet. Did they get married?
No, he got married in secret, and they were gonna tell him.
Okay.
But then Tony killed him. He shot him. in the
Oh
house.
yeah. When she like comes out of her robe and he's like, "You
Yeah.
motherfucker!" Boom! I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that
And they
got
got-
dark real quick."
And they got married and the whole shit. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, she tells him when like
such
she's
a
on the ground.
such a good movie. Such a
Yeah,
good movie.
she's like, he's like, we got married. We're gonna surprise you, and he's like, oh, my bad.
Oh. My bad, Holmes.
My bad about the locals. Actually, that's Eddie Guerrero, my character. Anyways, go ahead, Cam.
Oh wow, that's very enthusiastic.
Yeah, I think Cam, if you're done, then I think Izzy
Yeah, I'm done.
has to say.
Yeah, I've been done.
Yeah, go ahead, Izzy.
I didn't really know about this. You guys said I saw they changed the name. I didn't see it was a big old scandal. I saw like 15 women claim to get sexually harassed or sexually touched or something like that. But yeah, I don't know about this overdose stuff. I had no idea of it. Like, no idea that happened. So I got nothing, to be honest. But Redskins are pieces of shits, I guess. So that's all I got.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle this for the next few weeks. The name change is coming, the logo change is coming, but more than that has to change. But this is it's crazy news. All right, so with that, we're gonna end this week's show. Thank you everybody for tuning in to episode number 78. Ziegler, you got any last words?
Nah.
Izzy?
DZ Crew, World War Ziggler, let's go!
Hey, we'll be here if he wins the championship next week.
If they win, I'm hosting. If Ziggler wins, I'm hosting.
Sounds good.
He's not winning, dude.
Tune in next week for the DZ Crew WWE Championship celebration. And if you doubted Ziggler, you're not invited. So it's going to be just me solo hosting the whole show. Because none of you guys
Gotcha.
are invited.
And Cam?
It's not 2013 anymore, so it's not gonna happen.
He's going to
Yeah.
win. He's going to win.
And Cam?
Yeah, and Chris
We
Benoit's gonna
were
come
really
back
about
from
to-
the dead.
We are really about to see somebody's eye
Oh,
get
cool,
yanked out on Sunday.
We'll see, man. With that, Ziegler, go ahead,
Hey,
hit that outro.
If you're so confident that Ziggler's going to lose, if Ziggler wins, you have to give me your DVD collection.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed that video and make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And click on the channel to check out some more awesome videos like our movie and wrestling debates and our interviews with people like the Wrestling Classic and Jordan Jomo from the IGWC. And we are definitely looking into delivering you all some more content in the near future, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And thank you for your support.